Let's begin what's trending. The special iftar dinner at the presidential villa over the weekend, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu revealed that he almost quit the 2023 presidential race due to Naira scarcity caused by the Naira redesign policy, has been met with reactions. During the dinner, Tinubu recounted a story about a relative who needed money during the campaign, which made him doubt his chances. Well, let's take a look before we take some reactions.
Those who are very close to me knew the odds were very much against me. One of them woke up to my living room at about 3:30 in the morning during the campaign. I said he needed only 50,000 to take to our uncle because they have no food stove. And you see there, the currency is gone because of you. No currency to cash. People are jumping the counter in the banks and all of that. Your uncle is wealthy and has no 10,000. What are you running for? I say, for president. I'm not running for my uncle. I'm not running for me. For president. He said, okay, give me 50,000. I gave him, I can never forget. When he was about walking out of the door, he said, I don't think you'll make it. I said, sure, I'll make it. I said, you come to me when I make it. You ask me for a job. I won't give you. He left. I almost dropped the idea of running, of continuing the race.
All right, I mean, over the weekend, that was the clip that went viral, trending. I mean, obviously, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had a really tough time during the campaigns. You know, like he mentioned, there was the Naira redesign policy would stifle the cash. And I'll take this tweet from Olawale, who wrote, the Naira redesign policy, it was designed to frustrate Tinubu and to sway the election in favor of his corner opponents so that Emefiele can get away with his loot. I wonder what that is. I was surprised Buhari didn't see through it until his party lost Katsina, that is his home state, Kaduna, where he resides, and Kano. Emefiele tried Gan. Obviously, that was the conversation. Remember at the time where, you know, he was CBN governor and, you know, he had said that Buhari approved that redesigned policy. But obviously, it really, really stifled President Tinubu's election at the time.
Okay. I want to think that the president was speaking in jest because he was truly determined to be president of Nigeria. And that was when he said, Emi Lokan. Emi
Lokan, yes.
And he and his campaign managers and strategists, you know, they walked through that process and he eventually won. So that speaks to courage. It speaks to determination. It seems to preparedness. But the story that I read said one of his relations had gone to visit him, saying that their uncle needed 10,000 naira very early in the morning and that nobody could get money from the banks, which was true.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, he gave the man 50,000 naira. And the man told him, look, leave this thing. You can't win this election. But the same man that was giving that advice, he felt frustrated and said, if this thing is this hard, he said, well, maybe he shouldn't try it. But the same man they gave 50,000. When he go back to the uncle, he gave the uncle, in typical Nigerian fashion, the 10,000 naira that he asked for. He kept 40,000 naira for himself. You know, something there also about the dishonesty, you know, of many Nigerians and all of that. But in spite of that, he forged ahead and he won the election. In politics, there will be many odds, but the man with the best strategy wins. So now that he's there, what Nigerians are asking him to do is to look. do what is right by Nigerians. He says he has taken hard decisions, difficult decisions, but that at the end of the day, Nigerians would thank him for those difficult decisions he has taken, either with Forex or with, fuel subsidy. Nigerians are waiting for the time when we start enjoying. We want to enjoy before 2027. Yes. And that is our only request to President Tinubu. He's there. Yeah, he has succeeded against all the odds. So that will be remembered. Right. But let us also enjoy out of it.
Yes, I thought I heard him during the iftar dinner on Sunday saying that things are improving now. I heard that soundbite. And obviously a lot of Nigerians will disagree with him because I went to the mall yesterday. I know how much I spent. The price has not reduced. Well, over the weekend, before I come to you, politicians and well-meaning Nigerians paid tribute to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as he marked his 73rd birthday. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Uromi Tinubu, in her tribute, affectionately referred to her husband as her knight in shining armor. The First Lady expressed gratitude to God for his faithfulness in the president's life and celebrated his courage, strength, resilience, and contributions to their shared success. She also offered prayers for the president's long life, divine health, joy, peace, and prosperity. Again, I'll say happy birthday to our president, Emilio Khan, on his 73rd birthday. I thought that was such a beautiful tribute, Vimbai.
I think it's always refreshing to see sort of the human side too. We get very involved with the politics and the governance and, the heavy lifting. And it's easy to sometimes forget that these are human beings too, who also have families and loved ones. There were several messages that came out that day. I know the message of one of the former speakers, spokespeople, to the presidency is one that got a lot of attention from Ajirin Gelali, who was referring to him as his daddy, my daddy, my daddy, my father, my daddy, But all in all, it's just about that human touch, that human angle. And I think it's nice also to get to see the president speaking more and more. I wish we saw more of him outside of these special occasions, because I think it's he's a good communicator. He's like Dr. Abati has referred to. He speaks in jest now and again. He's quite a light-hearted orator. So I think I wish in the next few years or next few months we could see a little bit more of him.
Absolutely. This was so beautiful to see.
Orator.
Yeah, he's
light-hearted orator. An orator is somebody who speaks.
Okay. Yes, I think that he speaks very well. Because that was one of the issues we had during the campaigns, because people were always saying, we want to hear more from you than, let's dance. Remember, his campaign in Kano, was it in Kano? But before I come to you, Rufai, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during an iftar dinner led by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, narrated how he jokingly threatened to sack Wike if his policies in Abuja did not favor the All Progressives Congress. Tinubu commended Wike's efforts in restoring abandoned projects and improving healthcare facilities in the FCT, highlighting that Wike's appointment as the first Southerner to hold the position since 1999 reflects the country's diversity. The president recounted a conversation in which Wike requested the FCT administration's exclusion from the Treasury single account to enhance his work. This was a trending topic, Rufai, over the weekend. We did also see that there was this rumor that was circulating whether Wike was ill and that's why he wasn't at the iftar dinner. But it's good that the minister quickly came out. And, I don't know if it was a strategy or something like that, but it was so weird, this sort of fake news that comes on social media. Rufai, over to you.
I could debunk that rumor. That was a rumor from the pitch of it had no substance. And I think his team had come out to say that he's busy doing his work, and finally when they saw him. So a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to tackle the first story. See, this was a lie being peddled by some political sections that the Naira design was against President Tinubu. It was not against President Tinubu's candidacy. Till date, Nigeria still has a money in circulation problem. It is feeding into inflationary pressures. The solution to the problem then was to redesign a note. It was done leading up to the elections. Other candidates who were affected. So why are they slanting the narrative like it's affected him? Didn't other presidential candidates who have need for Naira?
Yeah, but it affected him. Yeah,
So,
as well, yeah.
but the truth is,
It's true.
why
Didn't
should
all
you?
the other
Didn't other have
other
need for Naira? I think that,
candidates
and
need-
the
I like
the
that
fact
point.
is, why do we even need a lot of Naira for our presidential election if it doesn't show that a lot of things revolve around money, which is not supposed to be the case? And guess what? The governors did go to court.
Yes, they did.
The Supreme Court interfered in an independent CBN. We'll never forget all of that happened. Then they went ahead. We all remember how protests went or things were. I'm not saying the Naira policy was the Naira policy was good. I repeat that the implementation was the problem. All right, and because a lot of people were hoarding the money, because these same politicians had access to the banks, so they were getting the money first before a lot of people, and they were hoarding because of their activities. And then that same problem we're trying to solve, the Naira circulation problem has even tripled. I mean, I don't have the empirical fact of it being tripled, but it's even worsened. Let me use that word. Since this time. So we all know what is going on, Audrey. People can politically shift the narrative one way or the other. And please, since then, there's been an improvement. Cashless policy you can do and transfer with your mobile banking app.
Well, all right.
Secondly, I'd like to say a happy birthday to the Agbabola himself, Jagaban. Happy birthday to you. Wish you the best. Wish you lots of long life. Wish you prosperity and all of that.
Right.
And his wife made a very, very sweeping tribute by saying, oh, it's a knight in shining armor. They've been together. They've been through thick and thin. This woman has stood by him all this while, and they've been together.
Yeah.
As regards the Iftar celebration, yes, the president was just speaking, and, he was giving a jibe and everything. As regards his relationship with Governor Wiki and the TSA, they finally gave them the chance to be able to go through this, and they've done some infrastructure work in Abuja. So he was just good-hearted and good humor amongst both of them.
All right, well said. Well, let's now turn our attention to the political crisis rocking Rivers State over the weekend in what many have described as a scene from a movie. The former head of the Rivers State Civil Service, George Nweke, during a press conference, accused the suspended governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, of misappropriation of public funds. Nweke also claimed that Fubara directed his chief of staff to burn down the Rivers House of Assembly.
It all started with the State House of Assembly, where the governor, Sasmala Fubara, directed his chief of staff to burn down the assembly in a way to avert the suspected impeachment. That evening, Edison was in Government House with many of his boys, including the former chairman of Obiakbo, one Mr. Chijoke Ihunwo. I was there with them when a bag of money was handed over to Edison for that operation.
Serious allegations. Well, in a twist of events, Dr. Nweke's wife claimed that her husband was kidnapped and made his statements under duress. However, Nweke later refuted her claims, stating that he was safe and that his wife could not speak for him on civil service matters. He maintained that his allegations against Fubara were not made under duress.
My husband is in trouble. 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 Look at the message I sent to him. See the message I sent to him. I said, Daddy, why? I said, where are you in hostage? I said, why didn't you talk to me? These are the messages I sent to him. Oh, he did not reply me. His numbers are not going through. His numbers are not going through. Nigeria's helped me. Nigeria's helped me.
After some hours of addressing the press, I saw a video of my wife trending online that I was kidnapped and that I made my statement under duress. I've already debunked that. My wife cannot speak for me on civil service matters when I'm still healthy and mentally very fit. Let me state it again. I was not kidnapped. The level of stealing of public funds and assets witnessed in the last 2 years is mind-boggling and never ever experienced in the history of the state.
All right, so that was a video that was viral over the weekend. Well, Governor Fubara has responded to the allegations, saying that Dr. Nweke has been compromised and is being coerced to lie against him. Well, in a phone call with Dr. Nweke's wife, Governor Fubara asked why her husband told such lies against him. Well, let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
I can't get this so. I can't get this so. My husband is trouble. My husband is trouble. All his sweat has finished off. He should help me. My husband is trouble.
No, madam, I don't. I saw something this evening that granted media this thing. So I'm even surprised that.
It's trouble. It's the trouble. I don't know, like, he's the first time they have killed him. I don't know if he's alive. Man, could I help me? Man, could I help me? Man, could I help me? Man, could I help me?
All right. Okay. No problem. No. It's okay. You're sure you're not aware of this is action?
I don't know. He told me the morning that his friend, I remember, he said so.
No, you know why I'm asking? You know why I'm asking? At least there's nothing that happens that he doesn't share with you. Where have I offended him? And where will he cook the level of lies against me? Where have I offended you people? After everything I've done for you people?
He's in trouble. He's in trouble. So please help me.
Dr. Abati, serious allegations here. I'd like for you to unpack all of it. I mean, Nweke has stated that he will provide evidence of the misappropriation of funds to security agencies. He's maintaining his stance that Governor Fubara has misappropriated public funds.
Well, I once described the situation in River State, and I logos to what Professor wrote in his book. One day, one trouble.
I mean...
One day, one trouble in River State. But the residual point is that the people who are suffering are the people of River State, who is talking about governance. Even the sole administrator that has been appointed, contrary to the Constitution, as we have argued, is there thinking of how to rebuild the State House of Assembly. Okay? Civil servants are saying they've not been given money. So River State is on hold. And then in the midst of all of this, what we are hearing is he said, she said, I said, another. I think what is happening in River State is most unfortunate. Dr. Nweke, who was the head of service, has said he will provide evidence. Let him provide that evidence, because he has provided a lot of, he has made a lot of allegations. As for the matter between him and his wife, I don't think any serious-minded person should get involved in that.
No,
if he doesn't know how to run his house, if there is discord between him and his wife, if there is a terrible communication flow between him and his wife, that is their problem, their family problem. But Governor Fubara also has an obligation, as he has done, to say that, look, all the allegations against him are untrue. There's also Professor Ogiri, who also has come out to say he was not the one that invited Dr. Nweke to Abuja.
Yeah, we interviewed him.
Adults, these are people who are maybe in their 50s or over 40. You know, the wife doesn't know where you are. You too, you say you did not, nobody kidnapped you. Professor Ogiri says, I was not the one that invited him. I mean, it's just very messy. Yeah. And I think that the people who are being shortchanged are the people of River State, who wake up every day to hear tales that are not related to the original purpose of government.
Absolutely. Well said, Dr. Abati. Well, let's now turn our attention to Edo State, where the killing of 16 travelers at Uromi in Eshon, northeast local government area of the state, has been met with condemnation across social media. The tragic incident occurred last Thursday when a truck transporting 35 travelers who were said to be hunters from River State was intercepted by a vigilante group. Tensions escalated when some vigilante members accused the travelers of being suspected kidnappers, leading to a mob action in which 16 indigents from Kano State were lynched. The Northern Senators Forum and the House of Representatives have also condemned the killings and have demanded swift justice. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar expressed sadness over the incident in a post on X. I'll read part of his post. He wrote, "This unfortunate incident demands a thorough, transparent and impartial investigation to uncover and ensure that those responsible are brought to book. The protection of innocent lives must remain paramount, and I urge the authorities to act swiftly and decisively to prevent a reoccurrence of jungle justice. Justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done to restore public confidence in our security institutions." Vimbai. Oh, did you want to take this?
I really want to.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I really want to take it because I've traveled most parts of Eastern land. I've gone through Auchi, down to Uromi, down to Iroa, up to Obiaja, up to Ikeke, up to Iboha. You know, I've gone most of those places. And I can tell you, 4 years ago, when I went there, I had just traveled there with a driver. Today, I can't try it again. It has to be with security escort. That's to show you how things have become deplorable as regards security. All of those areas, up to Keke, I still got a message of some people kidnapped today. They have been calling on the security forces to bring about sanity to that area based on the kidnap. Nothing has happened. Up to Uromi, and it goes. And you see, there are a lot of famous Nigerians that come from that area. Uromi, for instance, is where the great man himself is from, Enauro. But the insecurity is so much. Yeah. People are killed in their farms. There's people, economic activities hurt because of that. And these people have been crying for a while. So coming back to the issue, I condemn in its entirety that killing. You have no right to stop people on the road, extrajudicial killing. You suspect they're kidnappers because they had dingoes with them, and you go ahead and there's a mob action and they're killed. No, they must go through the legal process. They must go through the state process. They must go through the police. So all of those that have done that, I totally condemn them. And please, we'll also call on those calling for reprisals, please. An eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. We beg for the peace and security of this country. We should not do that. It should be investigated. But the police authorities too should solve the problem of the insecurity in this area.
That's the main point.
It's getting way too much. It looks as though the people have been totally abandoned. I've traveled that road too many times. It's just a narrow road, like this. And the hurt that goes on there, people being picked up from their farms, people being hurt, that's not the way to go. So please, let us make sanity reign. Because I'm also a witness to history. I remember the incident in Shagamu I think 97, 98. And I remember the reprisal action. Nigeria should never go back to those days. So please, I beg for calm at this point in time. And I condemn those that perpetrated. And they must be brought to book and be made to face the full wrath of the law.
Well said. Over the weekend, we had lawyer Laboros Oshoma, who actually urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to declare a state of emergency on security in Nigeria, because he says it's not just here, it's across board at this moment. I mean, this was such an unfortunate incident, and it also, brought up the conversation about state police, because everything all results to now a self-help, and that's why we have these vigilante groups. Which brings me to my next story in Osun State, where the state governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, last Friday inducted 1,150 cadets into the Osun State Security Network Agency, also known as Amotekun Corps. During the passing out parade, Governor Adeleke urged the new Amotekun trainees to be dedicated anti-crime fighters, avoid corruption, and be good ambassadors of the service. He also called for internal reforms and synergy with other security agencies, such as the police and DSS, to ensure a crime-free Osun State. Let's take a look. such a commendable move. In fact, you were saying that it's people like Amotekun South that are really making the South West safe. The governor also assured the Amotekun Corps of his administration's commitment to providing them with the necessary tools and a sound legal framework, which is about the most important thing at this moment as well. Vimbai.
Yeah, you know, these groups are playing a very pivotal role in this moment. As you know, earlier we had a retired police commissioner who was talking about the understaffing. We all know that the police is understaffed. So these vigilante groups are very important. And, you know, when you think of Amotekun, of course, you think of Ondo State and the late Governor Akeredolu and the incredible work that Amotekun actually did in Ondo State. However, more needs to be done, Oji. Just last week, or was it the week before that, in Ondo State, there were reports of protests. And if you remember, there was a group that actually carried dead bodies to Government House, to the governor's office, to say that this is what has happened to our people. Our people are being slaughtered. So there is a serious security situation on the ground. Absolutely. Now, if we can empower more of these vigilantes while we're waiting for the infrastructure around state policing, for the legislation to pass, then let's go ahead and let's do that. We need to get as creative as possible, but not fall into the risk of ending up with so many groups that are unregistered that will now, you know, we end up with the situation that we saw in Edo State. So it has to be very well regulated, well trained, and of course, a lot of supervision and oversight.
Well said, I'd say also kudos to Governor Ademola Adeleke.